thing is.
Let's start with the CNS, the brain and nerves. It kind of makes sense that if the control center is affected, hormone regulation could go wrong.
Absolutely. Things like a stroke, bleeding in the brain,
Mm.
head trauma, infections like meningitis or encephalitis, they can all disrupt the normal production or release of ADH from the pituitary gland or hypothalamus.
Even things not directly in the brain.
Yes, even conditions like Guillain-Barré syndrome, which mainly affects peripheral nerves, can sometimes be linked to SIADH. So, yeah, anything significantly impacting the nervous system can potentially have this knock-on effect on fluid balance.
Okay. Then pulmonary diseases, lung issues. That connection seems less obvious. Why would a lung problem affect a kidney hormone?
That's a great question, and the mechanisms aren't always crystal clear. But we see SIADH linked with quite common lung conditions. Pneumonia, for example, both bacterial and viral.
Really? Pneumonia?
Yes, and tuberculosis, issues related to COPD, even sometimes asthma. It's thought that inflammation or stress signals from the lungs can somehow trigger ADH release.
Huh?
But a really significant link, especially important to check for, is with certain types of lung cancer, particularly small cell lung carcinoma.
Why that one specifically?
Because small cell lung cancer is notorious for sometimes producing ADH itself. It's what we call an ectopic source.
Yeah.
The hormone is being made somewhere other than the pituitary gland. The tumor cells themselves are churning it out.
Wow, the tumor makes the hormone. That's something else. And it's not just lung cancer, right? You mentioned other malignancies.
Correct. While small cell lung is the classic example, other cancers can do it too. Pancreatic cancer, cancers in the head and neck region, bladder cancer, lymphomas, thymomas. It's less common than with small cell, but definitely happens. Tumors can be surprisingly hormonally active.
Okay, now this next category, drugs. This feels very relevant because so many people take medications, sometimes several.
It's a big one.
Hmm.
And quite a few common drug classes are implicated.
Like what?
Certain antidepressants, particularly SSRIs and tricyclics, some antipsychotic medications, things like haloperidol, carbamazepine pops up here too, though it's also used for seizures and nerve pain.
Right.
Then you have chemotherapy drugs, vincristine. Cyclophosphamines are known culprits. And perhaps surprisingly, even common painkillers like opioids and NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories.
NSAIDs, like ibuprofen.
Potentially, yes, though it's less common than with others. And even the recreational drug MDMA, or ecstasy, is a known trigger for acute, sometimes dangerous, SIADH.
Goodness. That's a worrying list. It really highlights you need to tell your doctor about everything you're taking, even over-the-counter stuff.
Absolutely crucial. And then we have that other causes category, kind of a catch-all.
Sort of. It includes things like the body's stress response after major surgery. Significant pain or nausea can also stimulate ADH release.
Makes sense. Stress hormones flying around. Exactly. Certain infections like HIV can be associated with it too. And sometimes, particularly in older adults, a specific cause just can't be found. We call that idiopathic SIADH.